Here is the priest who was killed, murdered. His throat was cut. Father Jacques Hamel, 84 years old. He was in the middle of celebrating Mass when two devout Muslims yelling Allah Akbar came in. They forced him to his knees. They preached something in Arabic around the altar, and then they videotaped it, and then they proceeded to murder him, to cut his throat, which is, of course, the pattern that was established by Muhammad himself, the founder of Islam. By the way, in Islamic Sharia law regarding jihad, it states specifically that it is legal under the Muslim rules of war to kill priests, monks, men of the cloth. They've thought about this, people. Now we're going to get to the Democrat Convention. Obviously, we are going to cover the Democrat Convention all week. Coming up are excerpts from various speeches, including Michelle Obama, but we have to talk about this for a minute. By the way, I watched the convention last night. Hopefully you did as well. You might have noticed what was never said. There was no mention of ISIS. Not one syllable about ISIS. It was almost bizarre. Believe me, there are going to be far-reaching ramifications for what is going on in Paris and in Germany. In case you've missed the news, because so much of the American press, the major media is trying to suppress it, but there have been two recent attacks in Germany. Obviously, you know about the Iranian student who probably is a Shiite. There's still not good details coming out, but he was a Muslim terrorist. There was somebody who went and hit people with an axe on a train. And then just breaking news right now that some Muslim young men, about half a dozen of them in their young 20s, went into the German equivalent of a YMCA, where the people who are swimming are allowed to swim nude, okay? Do I think that's immodest? Yes. Would I do it? No. But this is a club that they belong to, and the Muslims went in and threatened all of them with extermination. So we have a priest dead. The video footage will emerge. I'm certain that it will emerge. I'm sure they were live streaming it. ISIS has taken full responsibility for this killing. By the way, these two were known by authorities, okay? They were known by the authorities. One of them was wearing an ankle bracelet, like you would, the kind that would identify where you are. And the police and the local authorities were allowing him to have free movement between 8:30 and 12:30, if my memory is correct, 8:30 and noon every day. So he's been in prison for terrorist activity. This church where the attack was launched was on a list that was obtained from a terrorist that was arrested. They gave this terrorist the freedom to move around from 8:30 to noon, and he goes at 9. During his free time, he goes at 9 with another Muslim terrorist and murders a priest during the Mass. I have a friend who is a part of, they call it the CERT team, C-E-R-T, the Christian or the Church Emergency Response Team. And they are trained in proper weapon use and what to do should a Muslim terrorist or any other terrorist come into a church service. We have to begin to prepare our American churches for this. If there had been quietly sitting in there just an armed guard, a parishioner who's properly trained, there's a very good chance that the priest would be alive and the terrorists would be dead. Friends, I know that this is hard to hear, but this is Islam as started by Muhammad. I invite you to get a copy of this book, The Life of Muhammad by Ibn Ishaq. Get a copy of this book and read it for yourself. Just read it for yourself. This is written by arguably the most respected Islamic historian regarding Muhammad's life. And see for yourself what every Muslim terrorist in the world is reading and imitating, and then you'll understand. Terrorists have not hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. They are following the example of its founder. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we will look at excerpts from various speeches from the Democrat National Convention. May God rest the soul of this dear priest, 84 years old, a martyr for our Lord Jesus Christ. He did try to resist them. It was futile. And now he has gone on to his eternal reward as a martyr for our Lord Jesus Christ. I'll be right back.